When you start a business and you start spending money, you need an LLC. Then you need an EIN, an employer identification number. Literally Google EIN IRS application. The first links that pop up are going to be scam ads. Do not click them because they're going to charge you, and an EIN is free. It literally takes 5 minutes to set up. The bank is going to require your LLC paperwork and an EIN to get a bank account. That's step 3, a bank account. So we have LLC, EIN, bank account. You're going to get an accounting software like QuickBooks or at least a spreadsheet. LLC, EIN, bank account, QuickBooks. Those 4 steps for any business. I don't care if this is your 10th business. You will need to do those 4 things.
Okay, so yes, sort of. I would suggest, again, if you're getting started with something and you're not sure it's going to work or how dedicated you are to it or how it's going to play out, then you might want to not start with an LLC. Once you create an LLC, you register with the IRS for an EIN, guess what happens? They expect you to file a tax return for that. And even if you didn't do anything, they still expect you to file a tax return for that. And that costs money and takes time. And if you didn't do anything, you're still out the time and money it cost to file that tax return, even if it's only one and you're closing the business down. So you might want to get started without an LLC, just testing the waters, making sure what you're doing is actually going to work. You're going to pursue it. You want to invest the money in it. Then at that point, yes, you can set up an entity. But the second thing to think about is an LLC really the best option? A lot of times an S Corp is really the better tax advantage structure to set up, or an LLC with an S election. It just depends. It depends what state you live in, or if you're not in the US, but you're doing business in the US, or who's involved in the business, if you have partners, et cetera, et cetera. So just saying everybody should get an LLC as a blanket statement is not great advice. It's probably good for 80% of situations, but you may fall in that 20% where it's actually not a good idea for you. And then the last part of that, get QuickBooks. Yes, you can get QuickBooks, but don't fall under the impression that just by having QuickBooks that your accounting is either correct or usable. Really, accounting is a whole profession. People go to school for it for years to learn how to do it right. Intuit has sort of falsely implanted the idea with people that if you've got the software, then you're probably doing fine. If you're coding transactions, if you know you went to Staples, you put that in office supplies, somehow that makes the books all right. But there's actually a lot more to it than just doing those simple coding of bank transactions that QuickBooks makes it easy to do. The hard part, they don't handle it all, and that's where people get messed up. So start a business, yes. Think about whether or not you should be an LLC or something else when you're ready to really take it seriously, and get some advice to figure out if LLC is really the right structure for you. Then get an EIN, get a bank account, and then when you get your bookkeeping started, you really probably want to check in and make sure that that bookkeeping is being done right. Because I guarantee you, if the books are wrong, then the tax return's going to be wrong. And that is not a good place to be. All right, last one.